Afternoon. This is Nita with the Timepiece Garden. Panda has already taken off on patrol. She and I have been busy. Normally, April time frame, I put out a spectrum granule because it helps knock the ticks down, and the fleas down, and the chiggers, and just keeps it easier for me to play out here in the grass with her that I keep mowed. Because when you keep it mowed, that also helps them stay away, because they like to be on the long grass so they can grab a hold of things walking by. Deer, people, whatever. I've not been able to do that because it had been just, all the crazy rain we've been having. So we're supposed to have the next 4 days at least up here with no heavy rain. This is also the weekend I'm supposed to go camping, so I won't be here for it, regardless of what it does. But what that meant to me was that I need to go ahead and get the granules out. So I got my little spreader, started at this end, kind of went from the top of the hill to the tall grass. I went from this end of the property all the way down to that end of the property. All the places that Panda hangs out. Now, I don't do anything around the pump house. And I don't specifically do anything in the garden. I don't have ticks in the garden. But like around the scrub pile that's back here. Yeah, I go around that a couple of times. Just, I have armadillos out here and possums and, deer and the cows over there. They're dropping ticks everywhere. So, as you get to my short grass, where it goes to tall grass, I put the stuff heavily. Around my gardens, I don't put it at all. But it helps knock them down. Keep them low. That way Panda doesn't get Lyme disease or whatever, and she doesn't transfer them to me. Now, having said all of that, because that's what I do. Again, it's one of the Spectrum brands. You should buy at Kmart, There was also, you see my log? Yeah, he's old, he's rotten, and he used to be a part of that tree. And he, kind of ran up. I don't know if you stand here. He had a little hole that he kind of went up, kind of right there. All the branches grew around him because he was just old. Yes, he was old, he was rotten. And while he was strong, I pushed on him a couple of times. Sooner or later, he was coming down. You can kind of look. I didn't ship the bark off of him. That's the woodpeckers and the whatever critters eat him. And so anyway, sooner or later, he was coming down. And I'm not scared. I'm not worried. But this is what you call a widowmaker. I don't need my daughter to be an orphan. So I went ahead and took him down. So yeah, it's just been another day of small chores. I do what I do, sit there, and you can kind of tell from this angle where you cut out a wedge. That way it doesn't pinch the blade. Like a little slice of watermelon. I actually cut out two, one in the front and one in the back. There you go. There's the one that was in the back. That way the blade wouldn't get pinched. And then that's where that wedge ended, and then just started to go straight across until it was ready to break. And there he is. Am I going to do anything with him today? Probably not. You figure he's too rotten for firewood. So, not messing with him today. I also went and took some grass weed shrub killer stuff. There's some thistles. The big, sharp, spiky purple flower looks really pretty. Don't need it growing on the yard. Matter of fact, there's one. I have a couple that I mow down routinely, so they've not been able to bloom. There's one right there. You can see all his little thornies. Yeah. Anyway, they all got sprayed with weed killer. So after I got done walking for the granules to get rid of teas and flicks, I walked with the killer to kill all the thistle. Now that one there, I don't put like weed and feed on the grass. I don't say, I don't get rid of my clovers or the plantains. There's some plantain right there, or the shamrocks, or the yellow wood sorrel, because all that stuff is edible. Ooh, bless me. But anyway, all that stuff's edible, so I don't weed and feed. I don't specifically like to kill just to kill. I think I might have found some wild roses type stuff. So I don't kill just to kill. But there are some things that don't need to be on property. I don't need Panda getting a thorn from the thistle in her paw and her catching an infection. Or me, and having it scratch my leg or something like that. It's just certain things don't need to be on property. Now, as an example, if the thistle grows up the hill, I won't touch it. It'll do whatever it does. Or if it grows down in the holler, I won't touch it. It can do whatever it wants to do. It just doesn't need to be here in the grass, where we play ball or we play frisbee, or, where we're walking along gardening and running around with the gorilla cart moving compost. It doesn't need to be in this area. So that's what we did. That was today's duties. Little stuff that's not exciting, but still has to happen. Still has to be taken care of. And with that, y'all have an awesome day. And I will talk to you later.